Kelsey, how's the horse?
Yeah.
Good. Do you get to ride much?
You ready?
Not so much. Is it over in Hatch? Where is it?
Yeah, she's in Hatch. She's barely saddled.
Oh, yeah.
We're still working.
You need a horse whisperer to go out and take care of her.
I can whisper pretty well. I just need to be up there
Okay.
on the weekends.
All right. Welcome to our City Council meeting for today, August 12th, 2020. We will begin this evening with an invocation by Councilman Isom, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilman Hartley.
Our Father in heaven, we bow together and thank Thee for our community and the blessing of living here in Cedar City. We're thankful for all of the good people who populate this community and pray that all will be blessed, especially in this time of such need. We pray that we'll support one another and be a strength to one another through these troubled times. We're grateful to meet and ask for Thy blessings upon this meeting. We pray that we will be judicious in our deliberations, that we'll be fair and honest and do what is best for our community. We express gratitude for those who serve us in the community and pray for a blessing upon them. Please bless our police department and our fire department and other first responders and those that are helping medically. May they all be blessed and protected. We pray for moisture. We thank Thee for what we have received and pray that we can have more to fill our needs in this arid part of Thy kingdom. We express gratitude for all the blessings that are ours and ask Thy blessings upon us this evening. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Please join me in pledging allegiance to our flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we will now move on to the agenda order approval.
Mayor, I have a conflict on number 6. Could we move that to the action agenda so I can recuse myself, please?
Absolutely.
But with that change, I move that we approve the agenda order.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll go to council business. Yes.
Just want to once again make note of the fact that there's funding available through CARES Act money that we have received here at the city and here in Iron County for businesses and to help them restart, and we encourage people to apply for those funds. We met again Monday to entertain the applications that we've received. There are only 45 that have applied so far, and we've got a fair amount of funds that we need to deploy to help us recover from what has happened economically to us. And so anybody you know, please encourage them to apply for that funding and that relief.
Mayor, I hate to sound like a broken record, but here goes. We really, if you look at the, I believe it's the Iron Axe business on Main Street, Chief Adams, their weeds are 2 feet high. They're in all that rock area. They need to have those cleaned out. And I want to thank the parks people and Ryan for getting the weeds sprayed on Main Street last week. But we now need to pull some of those weeds. I mean, they've all been sprayed, but there's still some that are that high in the island right by Bullock's Drugs and things. So we need to get them pulled as well. So if we could address those, I'd appreciate it.
All right, are there any other comments? Okay, then we'll move on to our staff portion with our employee of the month.
Good evening, Ryan Marshall, Public Works Director. Tonight we actually have two Employee of the Months. They're both from water. They do such a great job over there. We figured we better give them two. So our first one that we have is Kevin Davis. Kevin isn't here tonight. He's doing his 2-week National Guard service. So we wanted to present this to him, and we'll get his certificates to him. But Kevin
I'm sure he timed that just so he didn't have to be
He
here.
probably did. He probably did. They're a little camera shy over there. So. But Kevin's been with us for about a little over 3 years. The write-up that we have on him from Robbie is Kevin has a great attitude, comes to work every day with a get the job done attitude. He's always positive and gives any crew he's working with the same kind of an attitude. Kevin is willing to help other crews out when more help is needed, and when his crew foreman is absent, Kevin steps up and takes the responsibilities that's needed to get the things done for that day. Kevin understands the duties and responsibilities of each crew that he is working with, and makes sure that they are accomplishing as efficiently and in a timely manner. And when Kevin is on the on-call duty, he makes sure that all the tasks and assignments are done and recorded appropriately. So we want to thank Kevin for all of his service and for him being with us, and I'll make sure and get that to him, or else I'll spend it myself. We'll see. The second one is Shelby McIntosh, and Shelby's here if you want to come on up, Shelby. Shelby's one of our newer employees. He came on to help us out when we lost the person who does all of our meter reading. He came and stepped into that position and took it over and took ownership of that. Shelby's always one that shows up to work 10 minutes early every day. He's ready to go, and as soon as that morning meeting's done, he's out there and he's working hard and getting the job done. He also has a very positive and energizing attitude. He's ready to get the work and get the water meters read, repaired, and replaced daily. And as you guys know, that's a big job with all the meters that we have around town. Shelby's always ready to help other crews out when they need it, the manpower, and when he has the time with his job. Shelby has jumped into the meter reading position, has taken that responsibility, never missing a month's reading deadline. He continues to learn and improve the reading process, and is he's replacing the stop meters quicker than we can keep him in stock with the meters themselves. So he's done a great job for us, and we appreciate everything that he's done with us. And so we want to award him with this Employee Month as well. Pebbles, I don't know what you do now. You're not shaking hands.
We don't do anything.
We
We
don't.
just say
Never mind.
congratulations.
High five. Give him a high five.
It's really awkward, so sorry about that.
Great job.
Thank you, Shelby.
All right, are there any other staff comments? No? Okay, then we'll move to our business agenda with our public comment portion with the presentation on the progress of the Cedar Breaks Visitor Center.
Maybe.
Maybe. We know who was going to do that? Is anyone here to do that presentation? No? Okay, then we will skip that item. And are there any other public comments? Yes, if you'll just come up to the microphone and then state your name so we have it for the record.
My name's Eric Bergson. Two of the council members actually know me, Kit and Scott. Being said, I happen to live 100 yards north of the Bicentennial Park, and what I'm looking to do is have a recension of the use of fireworks in that park. In large part, what's going on is that I live downstream, I get flaming embers into my yard, I get the smoke, and I get about 4 days, plus or minus, on either side of each one of those fireworks sessions. It also leaves a lot of trash lying around. And practically speaking, it goes on for 4 hours every night during those 4 days. I have to work. So I'd like to see that we could take that and move it some other place, and or certainly patrol it better, because the 4 days is which is allowed at this point in time, but it ends up being a day plus or minus beyond that 4 days. So at 1 o'clock in the morning, when you get a Piccolo Pete pop off and an explosion, that's no fun anymore.
Eric, do you have any suggestions in that part of town where it could be moved? Because we're trying to set them in different locations around the city so we can be cognizant to all the residents. And I recognize the frustration on that because I've been concerned about fireworks in general. But it's state law that dictates when they can and cannot. So I would suggest that you talk to our representative and our senators about maybe looking at making those tighter on the days. But do you have any suggestions where else we could do it in that part of town?
Well, the whole parking lot ends up becoming a free-for-all. I would suggest moving it further to the south in the parking lot. That would provide more clearance for those of the people that live just on the other side of 1045 North, and therefore we're not getting smoke and detritus ending up in our yard. Because, practically speaking, I can't leave. I've got to stay by my house with a garden hose ready to put stuff out. That really becomes old after 4 days of that. So
Well, that's helpful.
the skate park is right next to the road, and that's essentially, I live right across the road from the skate park. On a small sidebar, when it comes to the skate park, I would suggest a bit more monitoring out there. I incredibly approve of, the youth having the ability to have the opportunity to go out and exercise, use the skate park. But the skate park is now becoming dominated by late teen, early 20s, and essentially is driving away any younger kids that could go out there and use it. In other words, they have boom boxes, there's drinking taking place, because literally every Sunday I do a walk around the entire neighborhood and clean up the trash, including the park over there. And so I know if I was a kid, in my early teens, I probably wouldn't want to be there either, mixing it up with late teen, 20-something or others. So passing along, I don't know how much help we can get from the police department about that, but it'd probably be a good idea.
Well, you got the chief sitting right here hearing everything you're saying, so we'll make sure we get a little more monitoring on that anyway.
Anyway,
Thank you.
Thank you for the
Thank you.
feedback.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Well, hi, I'm John Orton, which most of you know. Worked around here for many years. So anyway, but I'm here with a complaint of a water bill, and I have a PUD out just down on Bulldog Road. And I went to I talked to Wendy about it. What got me here was what's his name? Pup. I'll call him Pup. He told me I had a big water leak down there, and I going, Pup, I don't have one down there. It's not happening. It shows up. We're down there, and we're in high pressure area, and we got a vault made there to reduce our pressure and stuff. And when we do have a leak, it shows up pretty immediately because of the high pressure. But anyway, what happened is I crawled in there, and I told the satisfied Pop, I crawled in my vault, and I contacted the people that have businesses down there, told them to shut all their water off. I wanted to check and see if we had any leaks by. Well, we found out that none of the needles moved. Everything seemed to be fine, and I told Pup that. So then he told me to go talk with Rob because there's nothing we could do because we're on a special rate down there because it all goes through that 1 meter. And then we bill all the other people that's down there in that subdivision. And anyway, Rob told me there's not much to do because of that special rate, that I had to probably come here to be able to complain, to be able to see about it. But what it does is...
But the problem is that the reason that this all came to
And who are you?
Chris.
This is
Orton,
my wife, Chris.
And the reason it came to our attention is because our bills average anywhere from $300 to $75 to $300 a month for the PUD subdivision. We got a bill in June for $905. And so then we were checking to see if we had any leaks or anything. That's what he forgot.
And I was coming to that. I was getting there in a long story. Because, anyway, we got everything green down there, and them guys are watering their place stuff. But nothing's ever out of order. It's pretty nice down there. But the average is generally around 200 if you average it out. But anyway, it jumped up to $905 at that 1 month, and that's when Pup thought that, whoa, we got a leak going. And we looked, like I said, we satisfied him, we showed him it wasn't, and I talked with Rob, and they told me the best way to do it, to present our cases, to come here and see if there's anything we could do about it. So that's why we're here, seeing if there is something possible. What we found out is there's a contractor doing freeway work. I guess he had jumped in there, and we had one of my son that owns the business now, his partner's Will Mitchell, and he kicked him off our fire hydrant, but it was a business that was putting in the fiber optics out there on the freeway. And he had a meter on our water meter, but it was getting double billed. This way it goes through ours, and I guess goes through his, but I don't think they knew it. I didn't catch it until after he called me and told me it had been done that. But I'm pretty sure that's where all our water went through, was being done through them people coming in and using the meter at that
You know
time.
the contractor?
I don't, and that's why I'm hoping you guys might have known who it was.
What time frame?
Huh? Excuse me?
What was the
Would have
time
been in,
frame?
Probably in May.
Okay.
Well, it says right here, so we're in
Because it
June.
appeared on your June bill, right?
June,
Yeah.
it came on our
Yeah.
June bill.
June
yeah.
bill, yeah.
And is your July bill gone back to a more normal?
July bill July bill was 171,
Yeah.
August is 213.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went right back, just, we had it there, so, anyway, that was my complaint, and I didn't know if there was anything we could do about it or not.
Well, we were told that we could sue the contractor. First of all, we don't know who the contractor is.
Right.
Second of all, we were told that they were stealing water all over the city. And so if that's the case, we feel the city should go after them, not us personally have to go after them for the water that they stole from us.
What were they doing?
Well, they were just using the water for out there on the freeway to settle their trenches and do their things that they had. They were hooking in their water truck and running it out there,
Construction on I-15?
yeah. And Papa's the one that told me that they'd caught him on several different fire hydrants in town without meters, and then
We don't know for sure they had a meter on ours.
well, no, that's what Pup told me, is I'm just telling you what I heard from Pup, is he caught him robbing water anyway from different hydrants without a meter earlier, and I guess
What
they,
kind of construction was this? Is this South Central that is doing all the fiber optics, or is it?
that's what we don't know. All I know is, when all that fiber is being laid out there in the freeway, from Parowan up to Cedar, and up to Summit.
No, but there's avenues we can follow up. We can check our
Yeah.
hydrant meters to see who had accounts at that point. We can follow up with UDOT to see who was doing work on the I-15 corridor at that point. So there's a few things we can look into.
Okay.
So can we look into some things and then you follow back up with them?
That'd be all right?
Yes,
work?
that would be, that's
I'll
just
follow
great.
back
We
up
didn't know
and-
if there was anything we could do or
Then
not.
we can figure out if there's where to go from there.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, and if we need to do something to follow on, chase them or whatever, so.
And let's
Anyway,
just make
that-
sure that we don't have delinquent charges going on this while we're doing this work, while this follow-up's going on.
Yeah, so, well, we appreciate that, so.
So, Pup knows how to get a hold of you?
In fact, you can just call Orton's Excavating. My son will answer. They still got the business going,
Okay.
and then he can contact me or whatever, so.
Okey-doke.
Okay?
So have you paid this bill yet?
Yes. Unfortunately, I did pay it because I thought it was leaks. But I didn't pay my last month's bill or this month's bill yet. So don't turn the water off.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Tom Jett. I just want you to know that the fiber optics company that they're referring to is hooked onto the fire hydrants in Fort Cedar 3 different times without meters. They've been called on. Pups come out, gave them a good thrashing. I'm not sure if they were ever cited by the city, but they do have in fact, and then a couple times on 800 West, I've seen them and gave
So,
Pup
Mr.
a
Jett,
call.
do you know who they are?
It's a subsidiary of Southwest Communications or South Central Communications.
Is there something on the trucks? Is it?
I see it every day in town. I'll forward it over to Paul's office.
Okay, great.
And
Okay.
Pup did tell me that he cited him, whoever it was, but he didn't tell me who it was. Anyway, thank you.
Okay.
He says it's SCS.
Oh, okay, so it's a contractor.
All right. Are there any other public comments?
Not good.
Mayor, I forgot one thing in mind. Can I just state something very briefly? Can't go back?
We cannot go back.
It was a compliment. It was a compliment.
Okay, then you can.
I was in a historic preservation meeting yesterday, and a gentleman came to the meeting, and he missed our public comments, but he sat there for an hour. At the very end, he got up and he thanked us all in the room for the four-way stop up at 700 South and Church Street and how much it's helped up there. And we accept it, but I said I would pass it on to the city staff and council. So that's from a Mr. Young up there. He wanted to thank us for that four-way stop. That's it.
I'm glad somebody likes stopping at it.
Yeah. I do.
All right, we'll move on to the public portion with the consent agenda. Item number 1, approval of minutes dated July 15th and 22nd, 2020. Ratify bills dated July 23rd and approve bills dated August 7th, 2020. Approve final plat for the VA Way subdivision. Approve vicinity plan for the South Rib Townhome. Approve vicinity plan for 300 West RV Park. We've taken item number 6 off, so we're at item number 7. Approve the bids from using the amount of $239,970 for a closed circuit television vehicle. Approve a contract with Rural Community Consultants in the amount of $47,444 to update the city general plan. Approve accepting property donation from Rocky Mountain Power. Approve the COVID-19 relief agreement with Care and Share and Utah Shakespeare Festival.
Move to approve the consent agenda items.
Mayor, I will second that motion, but I do want to make one statement regarding before we make the vote. On item number 4, the South Rim Townhomes, I'm satisfied with what I've seen because I had a nice conversation with Mr. Plant today, and I understand about the road widths and the driveways, but I continue to have a concern in our PUDs that we have driveways that are 18 and 19 feet long when we have vehicles that are 21 feet long. So I just want to make sure that we have got to get this PUD addressed and get these situations taken care of. But I would second that motion made by Mr. Isom.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Now we'll move to the action agenda. We'll have item number 6, approve an agreement in the amount of $115,600 with Burdick and Henderson for the fleet building shop equipment installation project.
I'm recusing from that vote.
All right.
Jonathan Stouth, the City Engineering Department. I just wanted to make one comment on this. Last meeting, I had mentioned that it looked like the project would probably be done at the end of September. In talking to the contractor, in order to finish this contract that we're looking at tonight, they need 45 days from the time all of the materials come in. And in talking to the supplier of the materials, it sounds like they won't be in until about the first week of September. And so that pushes things back probably till about mid-October, mid to late October to complete it. So I just wanted to clarify that before the vote was taken.
Thank you. All right. Are there any other comments or questions for Jonathan? And if not, can I get a
Move to
motion?
approve that agreement.
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And for the record, Terry abstains. We will move to item number 11, consider an ordinance changing the zone from general commercial to mixed use for property located at 331 North 100 West.
Mike Platt with Platt Engineering, and they just want to change the zone. I believe it's general commercial to mixed use.
Mike, you don't have any idea of what they're planning to do at this point
Yes,
in terms of development?
This is Don and I have gone through this. Well, probably we've gone back and forth for 6 months working on making sure we had all our ducks in a row. He's going to keep the Allstate building in front. It's going to be a true mixed use where that Allstate building stays in front. And he's going to just put 2 3-plex units in the back, and we want to change it to mixed use so we can meet all the setbacks without having to put everything on the property line and good stuff.
Are there any other comments, questions?
Move to approve the ordinance.
Second?
All right, we'll do a roll call, starting with Councilman Isom.
Aye.
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 Thank you. Consider an ordinance changing the zone from residential agriculture to dwelling 2-unit R-2-2 for property located at 3737 West Highway 56.
Dallas Buckner, Go Civil Engineering. So this is the zone change from residential agricultural, which is no longer a zone, to R22, which is in conformance with the general plan.
Motion to approve this ordinance. Second.
All right, we'll start with Councilman Adams.
Aye.
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 Thanks.
Right. Consider item number 13, consider an ordinance amending chapter 35A to restrict the number of visitor parking permits that can be handed out to a single resident owner.
So based on last week's council discussion, the ordinance was amended to state that you could have up to 5 visitor parking permits, and you could have those for up to 14 days.
Move to approve?
Second.
We'll start with Councilman Isom.
Aye.
Nay.
Aye.
Nay.
Aye.
Okay, so that one passes 3-2. All right, item number 14, consider a request to refund water payment.
So here's what I know on Mr. Higby's account. The overages that he talked about last week appear to be on line items in the bill dealing with sewer, garbage, and landfill. As you guys know, the water charges, there's a base charge, and then it goes on usage after that. But we can look back at his bills for that residence, and we can see where after the staff made the appropriate adjustments for just a single family, that the sewer, garbage, and landfill bills each dropped by 1/2. We do not know as staff why it was set up that way. We don't audit accounts so that we know who's in a duplex and who's not. That's usually taken care of when the account is set up, and we rely on what we receive when the account is set up. Last week there was mention of staff waiving 2 years of those overages. That was done in error by staff on a misreading of an ordinance dealing with a separate problem. So staff probably should not have done that, but it has been done, and you've received that, right?
Lance Higby. Yes, I have the check in hand. I haven't cashed it yet because I didn't know how all this was going to pan out or what we needed to do.
So we did make a mistake. We shouldn't have done that, but we did. We've corrected the mistake internally so that we don't continue to make the same error. But here's the quandary. A number of years ago, the city council passed a resolution basically saying we don't waive fees. We don't waive stuff. Now, this is a request for a refund of some overpaid fees. If we would have looked at it as staff and found that we were in error, we would have just refunded that, because we do that all the time. If we make an error, we make a refund. We refund fees occasionally through animal control when somebody spays or neuters an animal. So we have a policy set up to where you put your fee up front. If you bring proof back that you spayed or neutered, we'll waive a portion of the fee and we'll refund it. We waive fees in our recreational venues from time to time for folks that signed up their child for a league, and then the league got canceled, or the kid got hurt and couldn't play, or I don't know, a pandemic hits and we have to cancel the league. We refund those all the time. We don't really haggle with people where we can see that it's clearly either our problem or they have that sort of reason. So if staff felt that the misbilling was due to a staff issue, we would have refunded it. So we don't think it's a staff issue. We don't really know or have a definitive answer for council where it went wrong or who said what or whose fault it is. All we know is we don't typically waive fees. If you're thinking that a solution, I would offer you a solution as follows. We've already messed up and given him a refund. So we should probably let him
2/3 of a refund.
2/3 of a refund. We should probably let him keep that 2/3 of a refund. If you're feeling that we need to do more for him, rather than refund the rest, give him a credit on his bill in the amount of the overpayment, and then in the next 6 to 12 months, that credit will be eaten up by his water bill, sewer bill, storm drain bill, et cetera, et cetera.
You're selling that property, right?
Correct.
That way you're not refunding it. Nobody's saying it's a fault on either side. We'll just give him a credit and move on.
Did I just hear you ask him if he's selling the property? Oh,
Yes.
okay.
So make sure you get that taken care of in escrow.
Will do.
Yeah.
Because that, I would propose that that's
Does,
what we do.
can the credit run with the land though, or just with the owner?
Well, just in the closing
It would
statement,
just
in
be
the
a
HUD
closing
statement.
and
We would
somebody
track the
pay
credit
for-
internally on the account. How Mr. Higbee tracks the credit on his end really
Is up
wouldn't
to
be
me.
what staff
Yeah,
would do.
that was, I guess that was my question. So if the person associated with the account changes, it doesn't change the credit?
No, we'd leave it on the account.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Well, I assume that once you sell it, you'd be closing that account out, and the new owner will set up an
True.
account.
Yeah, if he closes the account and there's a credit on there, in effect, you'd refund the rest of the money. That's what we would do.
So he can get his full money one way.
Did we,
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that we did, so when we did discover this, and it was first brought to light, that we did go back and make sure that the sewer adjustment, the garbage and landfill, was the appropriate amount.
Yeah, this July
Yes.
bill reflects
Yeah,
a
the-
single.
Okay,
New bill is correct.
okay.
Our most recent one.
So do we need an actual motion for that?
So I'm very happy to do that, make sure we make you whole, but with a credit to your account. And that would be my proposal.
So is that an actual motion?
That was a motion.
Okay, is there a
I'll
second?
second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And Mr. Higbee, I would suggest you cash that check right away.
Do not, yeah, don't hold that.
I will do that. Thank you guys very much.
Thanks, Lance.
We really appreciate you.
Okay.
All right, item number 15 is a closed session for pending litigation.
So I move that we adjourn this meeting and go into closed session.
Second?
We need a roll call. We'll start with Councilman Isom.
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Tom voted aye.
Thank you all.
See ya.